Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Aiden here with another video, and today we're going to be doing a fantasy draft rebuild, which will be pretty fun, as we will just look to get a random team. I'll be closing my eyes, and we will be stopping in 3, 2, and 1. We'll end up with the Bulls, and of course a first round exit next year, but it won't matter as the team will be being dismantled, as it doesn't look like we have a top 10 pick. We'll just simulate the draft as it is a fantasy draft rebuild. We don't want to know what we get. And looking through, it looks like we had the 19th pick, and we picked Jarrett Culver with the last pick in the draft, who of course hasn't really worked out much and a bad contract, so we might just end up cutting him. We're not worried about the rookies, we'll just auto-generate some. And here we have Jimmy Butler, Kristaps Porzingis, Malcolm Brogdon, John Wall, which is a terrible contract. I don't like that. We'll try to move him. Jae'Sean Tate, Russell Westbrook, 2 terrible contracts. Okay, Terrence Davis, Kelly Olynyk, Cody Zeller, Joe Harris, which is another bad contract, Chuma Okeke, Elfrid Payton, Juan Toscano, and Jarrett Culver. I feel like we could run it right now and we'll win, but not what we're going to do. Maybe we stick with John Wall for a season, trade away Russell Westbrook for anybody really, as we'll look what his trade value is around the league. 52 badges, of course, but that won't matter if he can't hit a single shot, as we'll look for offers from him in the trade finder. We can get Kemba Walker, which is a way less bad contract. Get 1 year of Eric Bledsoe, just not play him. He doesn't have a team option, right? Or he doesn't have an option. He does. Oh, wait. Does he? It's a team option. We're going to take this. Eric Bledsoe, of course, not a good player, but a little bit better than that contract of... well, my mind is going blank. That contract of... Russell Westbrook. Wow, that was very difficult for me, as we'll look to move Kelly Olynyk as well, because that's not a great player for that amount of money. Dwight Powell, Rashawn Holmes for 3 years, $30 million. 2 first rounds, we'll take that. And we'll look to continue to build around. Maybe we just run it for a season with this team, see how it goes, but I also want to make a few more trades, as we have a backup. We need a backup shooting guard, small forward. We just need a better backup power forward, as we'll look to trade Chuma Okeke for that. We'll see what Chuma Okeke, Chris Boucher are ready to come off the bench. We can get Cameron Payne and then trade him away. Kelly Olynyk back, but I don't want him. Dorian Finney-Smith, which is a really good contract for the player that you're getting. 28 years old, of course, but not sure if that matters. Averaged 9 last season, but I don't know what he averages in 2K, as his tendencies might be a little bit messed up. O'Shea Brissett, Lance Stevenson, Moore Wagner, Mike Muscala. I think we're just going to go with Chris Boucher, and we'll see where that leaves us. As of right now, Jae'Sean Tate still our starting power forward, but Chris Boucher coming off as the 6th man. Cody Zeller playing. I don't like that Cody Zeller play. We'll look to move him for another backup center. Khem Birch, Dario Saric, Tristan Thompson, JaVale McGee for a year. A first round and a second round for Cody Zeller. We're going to take that. And let's see what else we can get. We'll trade away Juan Toscano and see if we can get a backup center for him. And looks like we won't be getting it. We could get DeAndre Jordan, but not sure if we want to do that, as it doesn't look like we'll get a trade offer for a center. We'll trade Elfrid Payton then. And we can get Nick Richards, get Dorian Finney-Smith, and move, who's our backup power forward? Not sure. Aduko Azubuike, he is a beast in this game. We're going to draft him. or trade for him, and we will make sure to give him some minutes, and not 17, but some minutes, as we'll give some back to Joe Harris, who is, of course, a very good shooter, and then give some more to Jimmy Buckets. Actually, we're going to move it over to Malcolm Brogdon, and we'll move on to the end of the season, so I'll see you guys then. And Jason Tatum is your Kia MVP. Evan Mobley wins Rookie of the Year. Kevin Love wins Sixth Man of the Year. Giannis Antetokounmpo wins DPOY with the Thunder. Tyrese Maxey with the Heat wins Most Improved Player. And Wes Unseld Jr. wins Coach of the Year. We went 59-23 as we see Jimmy Butler make the third team. He averaged 22, 6, and 5. And then he is not on an all-defensive team, as we'll move right on to the playoffs. We are the 1 seed going up against Atlanta. Of course, my favorite team, but not pulling for them this game, as we are down 2-1, now tied 2-2, now down 3, and we will move on. Now against Charlotte, down up 3-0, 3-2, and took it to Game 7. But Chicago will end up going to the finals against the Warriors, and the Warriors will sweep the Bulls. Luka averaging 39, 9, and 9. So obviously a very good finals run. But we went to 3 series in a row, so I didn't expect us to win. But we will look to make some changes. Carmelo Anthony retires. Greg Popovich. Carmelo goes to the Hall of Fame. League meetings, want to make sure none of that is changed, and we'll go to the draft lottery, as we will more than likely not have our pick. We have a lottery pick, but it will go to Portland. It'll go to Portland. Where are they? Where did it fall? It kept at 11. So we will move on to the NBA draft, where we will probably take nobody, because I don't know if we have a pick. I think we have a second round pick, but not completely sure, as we will look and see Simdonex user pick, and that will end up being the 30th overall pick, so the last pick in the draft. We will take Rudolph Reed, 7-foot center, and there's an 85 overall. Yeah, these draft classes are insane, as we just took a 77 at pick 29. So, out of Arkansas, of course. And now we will move to the end of the draft, as we will not mind on that. And we actually had 2 picks? Oh, I did not know that. Oh, we'll sign all of them, as we will move on. Of course, John Wall accepts his player option, and we will decline that option and that option. But we will accept Jayshawn Tate as we move on to qualifying offers. We don't want Juan Toscano back, as we'll simulate 2 free agency moratorium now. And we will look to make a big splash in free agency, of course, negative in cap room all around. So we will maybe look to make some changes. Who's our big hitters? Kristaps and Jimmy. What Kristaps do last year? Not good. 16 and 10 with a block, or almost 2 blocks, 33% from the field. What about Malcolm Brogdon? What did Malcolm Brogdon do? 15. What did John Wall? 21. Jayshawn did not play well, so we need a power forward. So that's what we're going to look for in the draft, or not the draft, the free agency. Maybe Bobby Portis, put him in at the 4 years, 23. No, we don't have any money. Al Horford, but he regresses a lot. Kyle Anderson, maybe. What does he want? $30 million? We can't give him that. Chris Boucher we had on our team, so we'll give him 2 years, $18 million. Malik Monk, was he on our team? No, he wasn't. Maybe we bring in Boogie. Let's try to bring in Boogie Cousins. And we'll just send 2 player progression now, not mattering on the other players really. And we'll look to move on Player progression now. Jimmy Butler does not move. Malcolm goes down 1. John Wall goes down 3. But other than that, Boogie goes down 1. Azubuike goes up 2. And we'll probably look to move Rudolph Reed to the backup center position. And we will just simulate to the next season. So I will see you guys then. Now in at the beginning of the next season, we will probably look to move some of these pieces for a backup power forward, or a starting power forward or backup power forward. I think that's one of the biggest holes, as we'll look to move Jae'Sean Tate, 26 years old, as a rookie pretty much, and we'll look to move for a better one. And maybe we just take the picks and then look to package a bunch of picks for a good player. We're going to do that. Yeah, add exception. And now we are going to look to make a big splash, as we will trade DeMarcus Cousins and a bunch of these picks to get a pretty good power forward. Who that power forward might be, I don't know. Maybe somebody like a John Collins, but that's a lot of money that we need to make up that we really don't have. Maybe somebody like Kyle Kuzma isn't really your ideal, but we can probably get him pretty easily. Aaron Gordon even is pretty decent. Miles Bridges, he's not very valuable. Okay, we can get this done. We'll add another first and then maybe a second, and they'll agree. So we got Miles Bridges on our team now, as this is what the starting lineup is looking like, and this is what the bench is looking like. We need a backup point guard, and Rajon Rondo is not going to be it, as maybe we'll look in free agency for a backup point guard. DeMond Wright, he doesn't want a minimum. We only have enough money to give a minimum, so we'll look to trade for one. Maybe we throw in this guy, Sean Wolf. What's his potential? Looking like C+. Yeah, we'll look to move Sean Wolf for a point guard. Maybe Patrick Beverley to be the backup point guard. Jordan McLaughlin. Shake Milton. What if we do that and a future first? This Hornets first. That could get us not anybody very special. Doesn't look like we'll get somebody of very worthwhile. So we're just going to go with that Patrick Beverley trade, and he can run the point guard for us, as they want Rajon Rondo too, and I'm okay with that. And who's our backup shooting guard? Terrence Davis? Yeah, no, we need to move Patrick Beverley over to the point, as he'll even move up as a point guard, and we'll see. They want to run a 9-man. I want to run a 10-man with Billy Donovan, and this will end up being the team as of right now. So we'll look to move on, and we'll see how we do this season. And now at the trade deadline, we are terrible. Or not terrible, but we're the 4 seed. I guess we're not that bad, as the Eastern Conference is pretty terrible. But Miles Bridges is mad, and he's bringing the team morale down. So we're going to trade him. And yeah, that's going to be great, as his trade value is very low. DeMar DeRozan, though. Bring in DeMar for a season, he regresses so heavily, though. So we would need to win now. Lonzo, but they want the rookie, so I'm not comfortable with that. Do you guys want anybody else? Like Azubuike, and then a future first. They want this 2023 first round Memphis protected. We're comfortable with that. We'll make that trade as we bring in Alonzo Ball. And now I think we might move Jimmy Butler to the power forward. He can't play small forward, though. So this is what we would run. We still don't have a great power forward, but I think this is going to be the best it's going to be for this season at least, and we'll look to simulate the rest of the way, and I will see you guys at the awards. And now at the awards, Zion Williamson is your MVP, averaging 34 and 11. Ronald Richards, Rookie of the Year. Kevin Love, another sixth man. Giannis with another DPOY. Jackson Hayes with the most improved. Taylor Jenkins, and that is it. And we are a 2 seed. So not as good as last season, but we are still pretty good, as we will hope to make a playoff push. Wins the first game, ties, and Cleveland is now up 3-1, and we'll be eliminated. So this game is great. And we will see you guys in the offseason, because this game is terrible. Bye. So I keep on trying to do like realistic rebuilds. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm just going to start trading everyone and building a super team, because it's not great just continuously losing. So this will be the year that we win. I'll just pull my little magic and end up getting the pick, as we have the 27th overall pick. And we will draft Desmond Wagner out of Colorado, as we will now sim to the end of the draft. And he ended up being a 76, so not terrible, as Kristaps Porzingis may or may not have declined. Here, we will look at that, and it doesn't want to tell me. So, looks like he is out. So we could re-sign him, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. But he is the only player we have bird rights for, so we will offer him this contract, and we'll see if we'll be able to get him back in the squad, as we'll look for other players that we potentially might be missing out on. Jeremy Grant for a season to play power forward. That might be a move, as nope, he had a Bates up. We can grab Danilo Gallinari or Larry Nance as our power forward, and I don't want neither of those guys. So I think we might just go with Kristaps Porzingis. He looks like he's going to sign, and he does. And there it is. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We need to also Terrence Davis back, even though he'll probably be traded, as he should accept that. He does, and we will simulate 2-player progression, as that might take a second. Now day 7, day 8, taking a little bit. No, it's a little bit of a dry rebuild, of course, as not a bunch of exciting trades, but we will be making exciting trades right after the season, because I am tired of losing. Jimmy Butler goes down. He's getting traded for anything. Kristaps Porzingis is going up. Lonzo goes up. I thought that was LaMelo for a second. I was tripping. John Wall goes down. He'll be getting traded. He got an extension, but not good enough to be a starter, as Patrick stays the same, so that's nice. Isaiah Todd goes up, and there is Desmond Wagner, and that is it, as we will simulate 2 next season, and I will see you guys then. And now at the beginning of the season, this is where we make a lot of trades, as Jimmy Butler is an all-time low. We can still get anybody we want, of course, having to trade Desmond Wagner, but not sure if we want to keep him. What's his potential at? B+, yeah, not good enough for me, as we'll look to move him for anybody else, and it looks like we might be moving him. Anthony Edwards, yes, that is what we're doing, as we'll look to as well move Kristaps Porzingis, and we can get some pretty good players. We're looking for a center, though, or Bradley Beal, Rudy Gobert, CJ McCollum, James Wiseman does pretty good, Jamal Murray, Clint Capella. DeMontis might be interesting. What did he average last year? 20 and 10? Yeah, we're trading for him. And Kevin Looney. Absolutely. And now another trade. We will be trading Gordon Hayward and John Wall to another team. No offers, but that's all right. We'll just be trading Gordon Hayward then for anybody else. Jonathan Isaac, yes, we will. And now we will look to move John Wall as $13 million. Shouldn't be hard to move. Looking for a backup point guard. We might be getting that there in Peyton Pritchard if we choose to trade to him. And we will, as we get Cody Zeller back in the trade. And this is what we're running with right now. Oh, we got Jonas Valanciunas as well. So I guess, but we're going to move him and look for anybody else. There's another better backup point guard, but not sure if we need him. DeMar DeRozan for a season, potentially move him, but he's not shooting very well in one game of the season. So maybe we trade for OG Anunoby, who's a good defender. Micah Potter. We're going to be trading for OG Anunoby. And this is when we will take a look at the team. OG Anunoby, Rudolph Reed, Peyton Pritchard, Kevin Looney. He needs a shooting guard. We need a shooting guard and a backup power forward. And then we will end up getting it as, let's take a look at what we can get for Kevon Looney. And now moving up, who is this guy? McKinley Wright. He did not play at all. D'Anthony Melton can play backup shooting guard, but doesn't shoot a lot, as I don't very much like that. But I think we're going to go with, D'Anthony Melton, and we're trading a first, but not a big deal, as we will move him to shooting guard. Unless, who's our backup point guard? Peyton Pritchard. Nah, he's going to be moving to the shooting guard, although a little bit short, but Hart cannot measure. As who will he be playing? He'll be playing the small forward. And let's take a look at what the team would look like now. LaMelo Ball, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Edwards, Jonathan Isaac, Domantas Sabonis, OG Anunoby, D'Anthony Melton, Terrence Davis. We still need a backup power forward, as we'll trade Terrence Davis for that. Or maybe a star power forward, as we will throw in a few picks. As in a few, I mean 2. And that can get us Colin Sexton. And not much else after that. We can get Yusuf Nurkic, but he can't run the power forward, not a good stretch player. Ronald Towns, who is a young player. Keldon Johnson, who is a little bit of a scorer. And we're going to go with Keldon Johnson here. And end up putting him in the starting lineup. They don't want to do it, but we are going to do it. As Jonathan Isaac will come off the bench. We'll look to move Malcolm Brogdon as well to try to find a better shooting guard. As I know this is a little bit long of a introduction, we can get Dylan Brooks to play the backup. Miles Bridges again, but I don't think we're going to do that to ourselves. Paul George, but he is old. And we will trade for Dylan Brooks and McKinley Wright, as we will move Dylan Brooks to the shooting guard position. No, we won't. We're going to be trading Dylan Brooks, actually, and see what we can get for him, because he's not very good. And we can get not much. Mikal Bridges can play the shooting guard, just be a lockdown player for us, I guess. Maybe we trade for now. We can trade for Tyus Jones, who can play the shooting guard position. Is a pretty decent shooter, but they want us to give up Peyton Pritchard, which I'm not down with. So we can trade for Marcus Smart and put him at the 2, but again, not a very good player in this game. We'll maybe try to build our own trade around a good shooting guard. We need to look and try to find one first, as maybe a Terry Rozier. Let's go try to get Terry Rozier, Scary Terry. And I did not pick out where he was. As we see, where is he? Okay, we're just gonna have to go back to Player Finder and try and find him again. And shooting guard, where was he? He was right here. And he plays for the Phoenix Suns, right? And here is McKinley Wright, and then we'll also try to give them Dylan Brooks, as they will need to give us their worst player back in, oh, that's not much of a terrible player, Terry Taylor, and they'll agree instantly. So perfect with me, as Terry Rozier will play the shooting guard. We have our backup point guard, as they want to run another 10-man, but that will not happen. And this is what we will be running. I'm not sure. No, we want Keldon Johnson playing. Team is pretty good, and we will see you at the end of the season to see if we can end up winning this NBA championship. Actually, back right after I said we will see you, we're going to test around Anthony Edwards' trade value. I like Anthony Edwards, but if we can get somebody who is like 90 plus, we might have to do that. DeJounte, he doesn't do good in this game though, but to know that he's very tradable, maybe we bring in DeJounte as we see De'Aaron, and let's go try to get DeJounte, and we'll put him in at the shooting guard, as I know he doesn't shoot a lot, but also he is a defensive stopper and would be very good at the 2, as he also does play with Mitchell, so might be a little bit why he's not getting it as much. As we'll throw them a few picks, and we need to make up $7 million, and we should be able to do that with Joe Harris's contract, and then they give us $5 million, which we'll take off of Alec Burks, and then no more. We'll throw them this Memphis pick. Okay. We're gonna go trade for a few players, just using these bad players. Not bad, but not great players. As we'll look for a first-round pick, and it doesn't look like we will get one, but we will be able to get a second-round pick over here, Jay Huff, in the deal. And we will go once more, just try to get a few seconds and maybe a first, 2 seconds, and I will obviously accept that. And who else can we get? For Terry Taylor, can we get a first round pick? Does not look like we will, and we won't. Joe Harris, maybe? Can we get anybody for Joe Harris? Doesn't look like it yet again. And we will end up just trying to trade once more with the few picks that we got. Unless there's somebody easy here that we can sign. There is not. As we will look to trade for DeJounte once more. We'll throw in this second, and this second. As we trade away D'Anthony Melton and Joe Harris. Oh, Joe Harris got removed. Joe Harris cut out there. Sorry about that, guys. And they need to give us back $5 million, and that will be Alec Burks. They still don't want to accept. One more second, we'll get the job done. What if we give them Terry Rozier instead? And then they need to make up $14 million, so maybe we'll take away one of their bad contracts and that really is their worst contract. Marvin Bagley. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get this done, at least not with the materials that we have now. We'll try to... I'm really pushing for this championship, so maybe a 2 seconds will get us a first. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And it won't. So we'll just end up simming this season and see what we can get. Make sure the lineups are good. Let's test Lonzo's trade value. Actually, we can get Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam is an option. We can get Bradley Beal. We'd have to give up OG Anunoby though. And then who'd run the point guard? I mean Bradley Beal, but he doesn't pass. Jamal Murray, who is a more explosive scorer than Lonzo Ball, but Lonzo gets just a little bit more assist actually. We're going to pull the trigger on this. And we are going to trade finder Steven Adams back and see what we can get for him since we don't need him. And we'll look for anybody that we can try to get for him. Anybody cheap at least. Nasir Little. Drew Woodledge. Sure, he won't play for us, but he can be a option. And this is what we're running with right now. And we will simulate the season, and I'll see you guys at the end.